We're following breaking news out of Oceanside, where a homicide investigation is underway right now, and it's got a lot of moving parts to this one. Thank you for joining us. It's 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Carrie Lane in for Netta Iranpour. There are two scenes in this incident. One is where a shooting happened. The second is where the chase ended. CBS 8's Chris Groh is live at the scene where the chase ended to break this all down for us. Good morning, Chris.
And we're going to start where things ended. Again, as you just pointed out here, Carrie, you can see right here behind us. I want to point a couple different things out. You see the patrol cars here, Oceanside Police, Riverside County Sheriffs, and then what has been confirmed as the shooter's vehicle. Now, you can see that door open, and then if we pan over back towards the officers' vehicles, you can see those white markers. Those are shell markers. Those are shell casings. That's giving you an idea of how many shots have been fired. Now, I want to play a soundbite here from a public information officer with the Oceanside Police Department speaking about that chase that occurred, the foot chase, and then, again, the shootout between both officers and the suspect.
Fire was exchanged and returned, and the suspect was located deceased nearby. At this time, there is an officer-involved shooting investigation, which will be conducted by the San Diego Police Department, and a homicide investigation being conducted by the Oceanside Police Department.
So let's make our way back to the beginning. And again, what you're seeing on your screen right now is Soul Drive, where this all ended. But at another location that we have not been able to get to at this time because of just how chaotic things have been this morning. 11:57, a call came into the Oceanside Police Department for a domestic disturbance on Fredericks. Now, when they got there, on the way there, they heard also a call for shots fired. Inside the home, they found a woman dead. From the home, they were able to gather a description of the shooter as well as the vehicle info. It was relayed on their radio channel to all nearby law enforcement. And then on Rainbow and the 15, Riverside Sheriff deputies actually located the suspect. Then a car pursuit broke out. They ended up going back west via the 76 into Oceanside. Spike strips were deployed at New River. Then a foot pursuit broke out where we are right here, so we can come back here live and show you again to give you an idea here. This is where that foot pursuit broke out. That's where the suspect got on their vehicle. So now this picture may make more sense. And then we're told that suspect made its way back behind the plaza. You can see the businesses that are there, and that's where officers found him dead. So the big question here, of course, which will be handled by the San Diego Police Department and the subsequent autopsy, is how did the suspect die? Did he commit suicide, or was he hit by one of the officers in this pursuit and in this gunfire exchange? We know that San Diego Police Department will be investigating that. We know that no officers were injured in this. But another detail here, which just adds another layer of tragedy into the story, the fact that at the home were 4 children, ages 5 to 17. We're being told that the victim as well as the shooter, that they knew each other. We still don't know the details of that relationship, if they were married, if they were acquaintances, family members. But what we do know is that it's believed that the suspect lived in that house with the woman as well as with those children who are in the care of other family members right now. Eric and Carrie.
Very active investigations there. Chris Groh reporting live with the latest updates at this point. More developments going to be happening throughout the morning. We'll check back in with him here shortly. New this morning, a pedestrian was hit and killed by a car in Spring Valley.
It happened just before 10 last night near the intersection of Hamisha Boulevard and Lamplighter Village Drive. At this hour, we cannot confirm whether the driver stayed on scene or left. We are working to gather more information, and we'll bring you the latest updates as we receive them here in the newsroom.
And this morning, deputies are investigating the deaths of 2 adults who were found by their young daughter. The sheriff's department says the daughter called 911 after finding their bodies. This happened yesterday morning at a mobile home on East Bradley Avenue near Graves Avenue in the Bostonia area of unincorporated El Cajon. Deputies say the bodies had blunt force trauma, considered suspicious.
They were asking them, did you hear anything? No fights, no arguments, no shots? And everybody said no. No, we didn't hear anything. They're nice people. They were nice people. Very, very nice. No problems at all. The kids would play. They would always say hi to us.
The couple's names have not been released.
This morning, a mother whose 2 children were killed when they ran onto the highway is out of jail after pleading not guilty to DUI and child endangerment charges. Sandra Ortiz appeared in court yesterday. Investigators say Ortiz pulled over after a piece of luggage fell off their SUV along Highway 78 in Vista. That's when her 10 and 16-year-old got out of the car. They tried to retrieve that luggage, but unfortunately were hit by another vehicle and killed. For now, Ortiz was released by the judge while she awaits her next hearing on June 30th. Ortiz faces 20 years in prison if convicted. A man accused of killing a woman in what police say was a random stabbing at a park in City Heights is now scheduled for a competency evaluation. Prosecutors say 23-year-old Silvanusi Padafale Hamala randomly stabbed and killed 66-year-old Chai Kao as she was exercising at the park. His arraignment was suspended after his defense attorney declared that he's mentally incapable in a legal sense of facing a judge. He is due back in court in August. Meantime, Hamala's uncle says the family wants to sincerely apologize for what happened.
We as a family just wanted to send a message to Mrs. Kiao family. First off, we send our deepest apologies, love, thoughts, and prayers, and our condolences to you guys.
A candlelight vigil is taking place for the victim. It starts at 5:30 tonight and ends at 8:30 in the Central Avenue Mini Park. A community gathering and speeches will be taking place before the vigil.
This is a incredibly unforgiving environment down there on the seafloor, and the debris is consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the vessel.
A tragic end to the search that captivated the world. The Coast Guard confirms 5 people who were on a sub that went missing on a trip to the Titanic wreckage did not survive. This morning, the mission is shifting to recover the wreckage of the Titan sub and figure out exactly what went wrong. CBS 8's Jesse Pagan talks to a deep sea researcher for some perspective on what may have happened here.
One of my early impressions was, I think something happened to the sub, and if that's the case, they're done.
As soon as Dr. Michel Boudria heard the news, his experience led him to a grim conclusion. Dr. Boudria is now an associate professor of environmental and ocean sciences at the University of San Diego, but for years he was a deep-sea biologist and went on 5 submersible dives.
I mean, when we were doing our research submersible dives, there was somebody at the surface calling continuously. We have a record, every hour there's a check.
He says the approach to everything is safety and communication first, with gauges, monitors, and alarms keeping tabs on pressure, oxygen levels, and more.
I don't know of any submersible that does this in a serious way that does not have all the systems there and then a completely double set of systems for virtually everything.
But even so, he says a failure as small as a pinhole in the hull could prove deadly, and it's what he thinks likely happened to the Titan.
It's an instantaneous thing. The pressure from the outside comes in, and it basically collapses the metal. You get the impact of an implosion. Like when you see a building collapse, right? They implode these buildings. It's kind of that same perspective.
Jesse Pagan, CBS 8.
Coast Guard officials say they don't know yet if they can recover the bodies of the 5 people on board the Titan. They will, however, use the resources amassed to keep searching and gathering information. Right now, they don't know when the implosion happened. Meantime, the director of the movie Titanic is sharing his thoughts on this tragedy. James Cameron compared it to the fate of the famous ship.
I think there's a great, almost surreal irony here, which is Titanic sank because the captain took it full steam into an ice field at night on a moonless night with very poor visibility. After he had been repeatedly warned by telegram, by Marconigram, by radio, during the day, that's what was ahead of him.
Cameron not only directed the '97 film, but he is also an experienced deep-sea explorer who has made 33 dives to the wreckage of the ocean liner. Right now, Greek and European authorities facing criticism here. This after more than 80 bodies have now been recovered from one of the deadliest migrant shipwrecks in the Mediterranean in years. The ship capsized off Greece last week. NPR reporting only 104 have been rescued. The UN says 500 are still missing. Many on social media are calling out the disproportionate response to the Titan sub in comparison to this recent tragedy off the coast of Greece.
This morning, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria will sign a $5.1 billion budget into law. The budget prioritizes homelessness, public safety, and street repairs. It allocates more than $140 million to resurface 157 miles worth of roads. The budget covers the 2024 fiscal year, which starts July 1st. The mayor will sign it during a ceremony this morning at 8:30. All right, let's get a check of the weather. We are on Friday.
Friday.
That's right. Let's do it.
Here. Beautiful start to the day as well. Beautiful weekend ahead. We're going to be really mild out there. Temperatures will still likely fall a few degrees cooler than average on our afternoon highs. But I mean, how about this for your start to the morning? This is Mount Soledad showing just a few passing clouds out there. Sunrise was at 5:42, so just about 25 minutes ago or so. And we're still going to be working through some of those clouds over the coming hours, but we'll have that day length extending all the way through 8 p.m. That's when that sunset is going to take place. So again, average would be 70s moving into the 80s. Instead, across your coastline and toward your mountaintops, we're going to be in the 60s. Your inland valleys will climb into the 70s, so still pretty comfortable and again mild out there. But it's not until we get into the middle of next week that we'll notice a more widespread, robust warm up on the way. Last 2 weeks of temperatures, we haven't exceeded average for a single one of those days. Tuesday and Wednesday, when we ushered in the start of the summer season officially, we had very summer-like conditions out there matching average. Trough of low pressure sunk in, dropped our temperatures by 5 degrees for yesterday. So that was 68 as that forecast high. Today, we're going to start a little bit of a warm up that will extend into the weekend. 69 degrees. We'll start to make it into the 70s, though. Again, next week is when that'll take place. Onshore flow strengthens this afternoon. So watch for those westerly winds today, 10 to 20 miles per hour. You might notice the breeze out there, but luckily a wind advisory has just expired across our mountains and deserts. So we'll see less of an impact related to those winds in the coming hours and the coming days as well. Now for traffic, here's a look at border wait times from the CBP website. 90 minutes for the general line at the San Ysidro Port of Entry and 35 minutes for the general line at the Otay Mesa Port of Entry. We'll keep getting checks of traffic all morning long. Also, in just a few minutes, getting a look at that 8-day forecast. Back to you.